Okay, so now we're going to use our IOLab device, and we're going to use it to measure an induced EMF when a coil rotates in a magnetic field. So the coil is this piece of magnet wire I've just wrapped 7 or 8 times around the device itself, and the magnetic field will be the Earth's magnetic field. And you'll notice the 2 ends of the coil that I've wrapped around the IOLab are poked into this connector on the front that are labeled G plus and G minus. That is a high gain DC coupled amplifier that will turn the very small voltages that are caused by this thing rotating in the Earth's field into large enough voltages to measure and see on the screen. Okay, so let me hang it as usual. Okay, so we're just going to have this thing rotating like that. So it's actually rotating now. Over here, I'm going to turn on the gyroscope so we can measure the rotation rate. And I'm going to select the high gain amplifier. And we're just going to say, oh, we're not either, because I forgot to turn it on. Okay, we'll do it again. Now it's going, it's on, and we'll say record. So you're seeing nice large excursions because of the rotation. Okay, the gyroscope is measuring omega in the vertical direction. And you're seeing down here the voltage that's been induced in that wire. And so you see when the thing is not moving, you get 0 voltage. When it's spinning quickly, you get larger amplitudes and so on. So we'll just let that spin back and forth a few times, and then we'll stop it. And we'll examine the data. So that's probably good enough. I'll stop that right now. There we go. So let's have a look. We can zoom in here a little bit. And we can see actually that in the places where you have 0 omega, right, where the blue line crosses 0, you have no induced voltage. Where you have a large omega in either direction, you have large amplitudes induced by the rotating coil. Now you can do something interesting here. You can do a parametric plot. So let's do that. And we're measuring now the induced voltage on the y-axis, and on the x-axis let us select the rotation rate in the y direction. And so we can see here a very interesting plot on the bottom. Before we even do the parametric plot, we see where the amplitude is high, you have a large induced voltage, that's the blue thing, and the omega is the red thing. And now let me just select a large region, there we go, of oscillations. And what we're seeing here is omega on the horizontal axis. We're seeing this red oscillation up and down represents the induced voltage, but the maximum amplitude of that induced voltage is linear in omega. Both the top and the bottom of this thing, that's what gives us this bow tie shape. We see that the maximum induced voltage is proportional to omega, which we know is Faraday's law for a generator in this case.